Okay, wonderful. So it is October 8th, and we are having our Sunday team training call. My name is Marisa Maggio Harrelson, and I'm a brand new Pro 7. Wow, great. That's a wild thing to say. It's only been a week and a half. So I'm very happy to have all of you all on this call today. And we have also Dr. Christine Davis, who's an optometrist in Omaha, Nebraska. And she's going to talk a little bit later about Nerf 1. And what I am going to be sharing tonight is about the invite. Oh my gosh, 20 minutes of talking about the invite. So we'll see how that goes. But you know, I think we had a Marcy Steiner Pro 8 on my team, Friday Team Success and Accountability call. And if anyone wants it, just private message me on Facebook and I'll be happy to send it out. Or I may just put it on One Person Big Difference because it was so extraordinarily powerful. I think it's one of the most powerful calls in all of the 5.5 years I've been with Lifevantage. She talks about, just the posture and the way your vision has to be when you are doing the invite, and how to do the invite, and the 3 elements you're looking for in the invite, and just on and on about when you do show this to somebody, what you say and do. And she just owns it, right? She just owns it. And that's really what we have to do, you all. We have to own this business that we have our hands on. And I think oftentimes, too many times, especially with new distributors, they want to do things on their own and they just want to invite people, and the posture is not there because they're a little bit nervous. But if you really think about if this was a bricks and mortar business and you were getting ready to open it, you would have that vision and that posture to meet with somebody and say, listen, I'd like to talk to you about a partnership, and I want to let's get together and meet because this is something I think we might want to do together. And that's kind of like what you have to do. You have to own this. So you have to have a clear vision as a business owner, as to what you're trying to say, when you're calling people, and being very authentic. And if you're waffling a little bit, they're going to feel that and they're not going to join you. So, I think it's so important that, you just have to have that clear vision, what you're going to say, be authentic, and know that you gotta have these people in Orlando with you. So have a clear vision. If you want to have people in Orlando with you in a few weeks, then you have to really know what you're inviting people to. And you've got to have that energy, and you've got to have that posture, right? We talk about posture a lot, but posture is absolutely everything. And there are 3, we talk about 3 main parts to an invite. Always complimenting somebody, right? And it has to be a very authentic compliment. It's not just like, because you're in health and wellness, and because you said you are in need of some money. No, it's about, and I love the word Marcy Steiner used, is virtue. Finding, take a virtue, make that person feel really special. You're inviting them for a reason because you saw something, a potential value in that person, and you want to be able to put that team together, and you want to be specific in making that request. So does that need coaching? Heck yeah. If you're a brand new distributor, you need to be partnering with your upline or whoever, but your sponsor, your partner. And please mute yourself if you're just joining us, okay? So if you're inviting them because you see something of value with them, and, just say something like, would you be interested in taking a look at something with me? And if they are, schedule a time to meet with them. I love, I'm taking some things from Marcy just because they've resonated with me. I've used some of those things, but now I'm like really going to memorize this, make it my own. We have to make it our own. You can have these scripts all day long in front of you, but if you don't really make it your own, it's going to sound scripted. It's going to sound rehearsed. It's not going to sound authentic. You have to be who you are and why you're so excited about this amazing business opportunity. I mean, think about the day that you saw this and you said, yes, I'm going to do Lifevantage, and it just blew you away. Well, you're going to do the same thing with the person that you're inviting. I have stumbled across this amazing opportunity and it blew me away. And I've decided to go for it. I'm going to run with it. And we're bringing a breakthrough product to market, or I'm lining up my business. I'm creating my dream team. I'm lining up some business partners, and I thought of you. And, you know, I thought of you because why? I don't know. Think of those things that you like about that person. Are they self-driven, great with people? They're self-motivated. They're inspiring. They've got integrity, things that you're looking for in the business. And God bless you. I'm going to go ahead and say, try to mute yourself. Okay, guys? I've muted everybody. Okay. I have to just go back to that. Okay. So, you know, these are some of the things you think about before you're inviting people, about the posture that you have to have. And, you know, people say, well, what is that? Well, let's schedule a time that we can get together. Let's schedule a time where we can watch an ABC primetime investigative report together. It's about 9 minutes long. And if that's interesting to you, then I'm going to introduce you to, you know, one of my business partners. And we're going to give you in 20 minutes a high-level overview and see if this is something that, you know, resonates with you, and, you know, decide if this is something that we would like to do together. And I'm going to steal this. What Marcy says is, I love these words. They're so powerful. What we're doing is scheduling a professional exploration of whether this might be a fit. Doesn't that sound a lot different than, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about, well, I mean, even that, oh my gosh, I'm excited about something you got to take a look at. That can be great. Boom, that's it. But just the posture when you're really looking to build your dream team, let them know you've launched this business and you're looking for your dream team. And, you know, bottom line is, guys, we're just trying to find out if people are ready to say yes. And no does not mean no forever. No means just not right now, right? I'm going to give you some examples of somebody that I don't even know if she's on this call tonight, but a new person that I brought in, Issa Dinerman. I actually shared this with her about 3.5 years ago, but she wasn't at High Noon. But now she is at High Noon. And because she is at High Noon, she has been jumping on this business and sharing this with people very authentically and from a kind heart, and just learning in a quick time, right? The learning curve is steep here, but it's also simple, right? So, anyway, she was somebody that I didn't know, and I met when she owned a skincare company in Prescott. And I came to her for a facial treatment with my daughter after yoga. And then we just started talking and connecting. And, you know, she wasn't at High Noon, but I really liked her. She really liked me. And over time, we got to know each other. And I just kept nurturing that relationship. It wasn't always about Lifevantage, but for her, I let her know there's an opportunity here that's like life-changing. So my approach to her was, you know, not only it was skincare, that was my end, because she was in skincare. She's an esthetician. And I was just saying, this is something you have to really look at. And, you know, just over time, and then somebody else introduced this to her, or she saw somebody else when she was on a yoga retreat that was a very high-level distributor in Lifevantage. And that's when I got this text from her from Costa Rica saying, I think this is what I want to do. So do you see how 3.5 years later? So that's one way. Another way, I'm going to teach, I want you to Kathy Enking is on this call. And Kathy is a love of mine. I mean, she's just such a great friend and lives in Reno, Nevada now, but lived in Phoenix, Arizona. So I'm telling you, I keep my invite radar high. And that's what I think you guys, I really want to, if I can stress today, is that, you know, I invite by a circumstance. My antenna is like off the charts high. I wait for an opportunity to be able to weave an invite in, maybe. And it could be just depending on their circumstance, totally about product. The examples I'm going to give you are, well, I'll go back to that. But with Kathy, my intention was the business. I got an email from a yoga studio in Phoenix where she was going to be doing a presentation on nutrition. And I'm into yoga. I teach yoga. And I said, wow, I need to get a hold of this woman. And I looked at her website. Hi, Kathy. And I looked at her website and I was like, oh my gosh, she needs to know about this. So I called her up and I'm like, this is a cold call, you guys. And I don't even remember exactly the words I said. Kathy, feel free to intertwine if you want. But I just said, you know, my name is Marisa. I'm a former news reporter. And she thought I was going to interview her. And I just said, I love what you're doing. I complimented her. I love your website. I love that you're teaching nutrition to the world. And your website is Better World Nutrition. And I just think that I have something that you might want to know about. And it really was just kind of that, right? And then so a Q&A here and there. And I always said it was 6 months later that she joined, but she said it was about 3 months later. So it felt like 6 months. So, you know, but she came to a meeting at my house, or a gathering. Let's get the word meeting out of our vocabulary, right? I like the word gathering. That's Marcy Steiner uses that. And for me, it resonates with me. And you have to do what resonates with you. But for me, I kind of like that actually. So she came and she got it. And so Kathy and Patrick have been a part of Lifevantage for, oh my gosh, I think almost going on 4 years now, right? Yeah, 4 years. So she was one of my first. Another person is Mark Johnson. And Mark is a recent distributor of mine. And he's one of my yoga students. And I have to be very careful at yoga that I don't, you know, people come to yoga to do yoga. And I don't want to sell people, because that's what we're all afraid of doing, right? Is selling or feeling like we're selling. We want to be able, we have a gift here, by the way, and know that we have this gift and be proud of that gift and make it powerful. So that's what I saw, is that he was complaining about his back. So that was my approach. Oh my gosh, you know, he was talking about something that he had used and he wasn't using it anymore, and it wasn't helping his back. And I just said, hey, I have something that you might want to take a look at. And I think I even said the word Protandim, just because I didn't want him to feel salesy. I said, well, look, take a look at this ABC report. And if you have any questions, give me a call. And so he did call me. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks later, but he did call me. And then he had his own incredible story. So that changed everything. But you guys, Saturday, my husband and I, yesterday, we were at Costco. And as we're checking out, you know how the people like look at your receipt and make sure you have everything. And I was actually looking at on my phone, I was looking at the qualification points for the Bahamas. And I go, Scott, I only need 330 more points for the Bahamas. And this lady, she's like, really? She goes, did you win something? And I said, no, I'm just working on a work promotion. I'm trying to get to the Bahamas. We have a little incentive trip that I would be earning. And she said, oh, well, what do you do? And I mentioned that I'm in network marketing. I said, I'm with a company called Lifevantage. And we're bringing this breakthrough product to market. It actually helps with inflammation. She goes, inflammation? Oh my gosh, I have that. I said, well, if you'd like, I can get you some information. And so she gave me her contact information. She gave me an email. I mean, literally, she's busy. I'm busy. We're walking out of Costco. So I have her email to follow up. It's a hit and miss. You know, maybe I can help her from a product standpoint. But I just say, keep your radar high. Always share with your friends and your family. But know that you have this beautiful gift here, you all. Know that don't feel like you're selling people. If you feel like you're selling people, you're making it about you, and you're not making it about that person in front of you and how you can help them. I was at a charity event with my daughter, and it was for Singleton. It's called Singleton Moms, and it's for single people going through cancer treatment. I can't even imagine how horrific that would be. And nothing's come from this, but I made a nice connection with someone. We've talked a few times Who knows where it'll go? Maybe it's a year from now. Maybe it's 3 years from now. Maybe it's never from now. I don't know. I'm not attached. But the guy said he helped heal himself naturally through nutrition after he'd gone through the conventional treatments and got so sick about cancer. And then I was like, I had to be really careful here because I was there for an event, to work an event that day. And I just mentioned, you know, I have something, here's my card. Take a look at this. If you have any interest and you want to know more, contact me. I didn't even ask him for his contact information. And he did contact me, but it's really not gone anywhere. I don't really know why, but he's been excited. And then when he goes, what did you meet? You said an opportunity? Because somewhere through there, I just said, I do the business part of it, but I also take the products and my family does. And then he stopped me in my tracks and he said, really? You do the business here? But I think this guy's got a lot of other issues going on. It's not his time right now. I think I know he's not at high noon. But I'm always keeping the filter full. And that's what we have to do as professional network marketers, is we have to keep that funnel full. We have to always have that radar out there and just connect with people. We're people connectors. It's not about getting anybody. It's authentically about how you can help people. I'm not attached to people joining my business. I'm really not. Was I at one point in time? Yes. I think yes, of course. You know, when you're new and you're starting out and you're growing, absolutely. But the more you keep doing that and getting your nose, the more growth you're getting, the more posture you're getting, the more strength you're getting. And it's that posture and that professionalism that people see that they then want to follow you. Even if it's as a customer, they like what you're doing, they like what you're saying, and they're going, well, I need to take a look at this. So I would say powerful things, you know, the Facebook is a great way to connect with people. I'm not great at social media. I'm learning, I'm embracing it. It's not always my comfort zone. But I have gotten people as customers because I'm connecting with people, and adding them to Healthy Quest has been really a powerful thing for me. Adding them to our customer Facebook pages are really powerful ways of connecting with people, and tagging them when you know that they've got an issue or they know somebody with an issue and you see a testimony there, you can tag them and say, oh, I thought you'd be interested in this. And that's creating more of a connection. So I just say, you know, to expand, you know, your small market is important. Your friends, your family, your warm market. If you think you've gone through them all, I need to go back to my first blueprint, by the way, my old-fashioned blueprint book. I need to go back, and you need to look back and you need to say, look, you know, I'm taking this to a whole new level than I did when I first introduced this to you 3 years ago or 4 years ago. And this company is growing. And remember these powerful keywords. If they just come out once in a while, we're part of a modern new science. Be proud of that. We're educating people. We're not attached to what they want or what they decide to do. We are part of a modern new science of nutrigenomics, expected to be a $600 billion a year industry in 3 years, already a $300 billion industry a year. And we're at the forefront of this industry. So ask people a lot of questions, you know, about their life, about their health, about their whatever they're doing, you know, what matters to them, what's important, and how you might be able to help them. And just keep that radar high. That's all I have to say. So with that, wow, I've done 19 and a half minutes. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Christine Davis. And Dr. Christine Davis is an optometrist in Omaha, Nebraska, introduced a year ago to Lifevantage, maybe a little longer, but she joined a year ago by Matt and Chelsea Wellna. And so that is what a gift, and great for Matt and Chelsea for introducing you to this, Christy. And thank you for saying yes. Seeing these doctors that are joining our company just lends so much more validation to what we have our hands on. So Christine is going to talk to us tonight about NRF1, Protandim NRF1, and Take it away, Christine. Thank you again for being a part of our training call tonight.
Thank you, Marisa. So, wow, I'm really excited actually to be asked to join you guys tonight on this call. It gets me excited when we can gather together like-minded people who are looking for a way to take action, to live longer, to, thrive and not just survive. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk with you this evening about what has me excited. Before I get started on the topic of NRF1, a little bit about myself. So I studied formally after high school 8 years in science, medicine, human physiology, as it relates to the human eye and vision. So for the past 27 years, they've basically revolved around diseases of the eyes, and treating those diseases and their effects on vision. But my hobbies, my interests outside of my professional life were more holistic health based, and I have became fascinated in 1990 with plants and herbs and their medicinal properties that have centuries of proof of helping human beings, treat diseases naturally, and just what resources we have on this earth that are available for us to use in healing. And so I everything I could get my hands on, I would read, and I got teased for always having my nose buried in a book somewhere studying in the library. So most of the time, though, when it wasn't my scientific, research and papers and things I was writing, I was reading about holistic health and herbal medicine. And so naturally, when Chelsea and Matt, introduced me to Protandem NRF2, I immediately recognized all the ingredients as having these qualities that I'd studied. And, I came to learn from their interaction with me specifically how those ingredients relate to human physiology and what exactly they're doing. Because when I was in school 27 years ago, they didn't really teach us that, so I was aware of these herbs and natural ingredients that grow naturally, but I wasn't exactly aware of how specifically they work, how they affect our biology. So I'm so grateful to Matt and Chelsea for taking that leap of faith and just bringing it up during one of their routine eye exams. So it was pretty cool story. So NRF1, this abbreviation stands for nuclear respiratory factor number 1. Okay. So this is some pretty heavy science, and even in the scientific community, like people who actually research this on a daily basis, we're learning more and more every day of its importance. And so it's an important factor in the production of something we call mitochondria. So mitochondria are organelles that are residing in every single cell in the human body, and they are responsible for life. You can't live without mitochondria, and they have a lot of different functions, but one of the biggest functions is the production of energy. So if you're going to go do a job, if you're going to go get in your car and drive somewhere, or you're going to use a device like a telephone, it has to have energy of some sort, right? So every cell in our body, regardless of its function, if it's a nerve cell, if it's cell in the colon or the heart, the lungs, the kidneys, every single cell requires energy to do its job. So whether it's repairing things, making cofactors and enzymes that are, important in metabolism, in reproduction, and division, cell division, and just survival. So what's interesting is we can learn why mitochondria are so important, because there are groups of individuals that have inherited genetic defects in how things are expressed, and so they at a very young age will have a deficiency in mitochondria, or very weak mitochondria that aren't robust in doing their job. And so it's unfortunate, but we can study these individuals and learn why, you know, in the case of someone who's lacking mitochondria, why they age progressively faster and they have more disability. And most of those are eye related and neurological. So you can actually go online. There's a national database of mitochondrial deficient conditions, and read more about it. And like I said, typically they present at a really young age with eye problems. So luckily, now that we've come to understand mitochondria, and we're learning more every day, we have a way to naturally increase the integrity, the function, the robust quality of our mitochondria through protandem NRF1. So when you read the studies on NRF1, they have ingredients that, again, are very familiar. Just like our NRF2, we know it's green tea, bacopa, milk thistle, ashwagandha, milk thistle. Well, with the NRF1 formula, we've got rhodiola rosea, coenzyme Q10, alpha lipoic acid. So these ingredients, again, they all have a history, and anyone that studies biology and chemistry, they understand the importance of these key ingredients. But what's really interesting is when the studies, you read the studies and you see how much more effective they are than each of the ingredients on its own. So just like with NRF2, the ingredients being more than the sum of their parts, NRF1, again, is much more effective in the proper quantities that are available in simply taking NRF1 protandem. So it's pretty exciting. You know, people report, and I myself have experienced more energy, better sleep. You know, I'm not fatigued as easily. My muscles recover quickly. And honestly, the only thing I've done is started taking my NRF1 along with my NRF2. So some on this call, on this meeting, may be aware my passion for health and wellness is personal, in that at the age of 32, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And knowing my background and understanding its effects and potential prognosis, it was kind of grim. And so, you know, I can truly call myself an MS warrior because I've always taken this holistic approach where I knew the pharmaceuticals weren't really going to be addressing the key reasons for my autoimmune disease. So, you know, now 13 years later, I have never taken anything synthetic, and I'm doing more now that I was introduced to NRF1, NRF2 protandem than, you know, 2 years ago, I never would have anticipated. So planning ski trips and you know, business and expanding business, you know, these are things that someone with a diagnosis of MS doesn't really, it's not on their radar, you know, because they're more about planning, how am I going to deal with my disability and how is this going to impact my family and, you know, mobility issues, everything. So obviously I'm very, very grateful that they introduced this to me. And my hope is that you know, all of us will take a more active role in managing our health, regardless of whether you have a diagnosis of something dire or not. You know, for not just for you, but for those that love you and care about you, you know, I think it's something now that's the future. And people more and more are looking for ways of what can I be doing, you know, versus, hey, doc, can you write me a prescription, you know, for something to treat my symptom? So that's my hope for everyone on the call tonight. And, you know, I'm available. If anyone has questions or wants to talk more, you can call me or email me. I'll give you I think you can post something here.
Yeah,
I'm
not seeing the chat on here. What is your email, sweets?
My email address that you can write me at is Dr. Davis. So it's D-R-D-A-V as in Victor, I-S-O-D @gmail.com. Or you can call me. My phone number is 402-419-9926.
So it's Dr. Davis OD?
OD, yes.
Gmail.com. So let me ask you, Christine, when were you diagnosed with MS?
Well, do the reverse math. I was 32 years old. I'm now 45. So it's been, 13 years now.
Mm-hmm. And it has affected you work-wise as well?
Initially, yeah. So I'm a super independent person, and I went to school for the better part of my life and borrowed significant sums of money in order to get an education. And so I wasn't long out of school, and I was recently married, and I had taken on a multi-location practice in California. And so I had as much stress as anyone you could possibly imagine. So, the potential was there for significant, regression, like to the point where you're in a wheelchair. So, yeah.
So,
and now I'm planning a trip to, we're planning a trip to Park City, Utah to go skiing in December. So.
Oh my gosh. You've only been on Nerf 1 and 2 a year?
Well, so I initially learned of NRF2 back in October of 2005, or I'm sorry, 2015.
Okay. 2015.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Right. So it was 2015 I got started taking it, and it wasn't until Nerf 1 came out sometime later. I think it wasn't too much longer, and I started taking both.
So why are you doing this business? I'm just asking you. You work full-time as well still?
Yes, I work full-time. And the reason I'm doing this business is, number one, I believe in the products. I want to help as many people as possible experience what I've experienced. I'm about disease prevention, and I have seen firsthand examples of Nerf 2, Nerf 1 activation in my patients who have been on the Duo and have had incredible results with their eyesight. People with macular degeneration and amblyopia, I've seen firsthand incredible improvements. And so as far as the business goes, I plan on taking this forever. And I want to be in the know as to any new products that come down the pipeline, any studies that are available. And then just, like yourself, you're zooming in from Mexico. I mean, how great is that? I've always been tied to an office. So yeah, any given day of the week, you know where to find me. So I'm always at a physical location, and that's great because I love my patients. But I'd also like the freedom, the time freedom to get away and still have a business with residual income so that I can pursue other interests and hobbies and fun times.
Mm. What a gift Chelsea and Matt shared with you, and the fact that you just were intrigued and open. I tried to share this with my eye doctor. I gave her a bottle, and, she was interested, but not, I don't know. Maybe I'll
have her call me.
I will.
I'm serious because, oxidative stress affects on so many levels. It's really hard, like Carrie Dickey always says, if I could download my brain into your brain and you could understand the impact. So oxidative stress, the human eye is affected by anything vascular, anything neurological, anything autoimmune, hormonal, chronic dry eyes. Who's not experiencing dry eye? Oxidative stress is responsible for that. Cataracts, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. So if you encounter someone who's a doctor like myself, who's maybe been impacted personally. Now, Matt and Chelsea had no idea that I was suffering with MS. In fact, what they didn't know at the time is I had a relapse. My right eye had developed optic neuritis, which is a relapse of multiple sclerosis. And optic neuritis is a swelling of the nerve in the back of the eye that's responsible for vision. So unbeknownst to them, I had never broadcasted that about myself. And so I thank God every day, because in my experience, my vision recovered 100% in a very short period of time. So if I can have that impact for patients, and I tell you, if you have a doctor who's looking for ways to help people versus just treat them and treat their diseases, then that's the doctor you want to talk to about this.
You're amazing. Thank you so much. I just love how this business connects all of us together. We don't even know each other, didn't. Now I can't wait to hug you and everybody on this Zoom. So what a beautiful evening tonight. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking time out of your busy Sunday night, family night. Really do appreciate that. This is recorded, so we will send it out. This was very powerful. Thank you. Have a beautiful evening. Christine, people, one more time, your email is drdavisod@gmail.com, and your phone number one more time, please.
Area code 402-419-9926.
Okay. Gosh, I hope you don't get too bombarded.
It's okay. It might take me a minute to get back with everybody, but be patient. I will address everybody. So.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. And then I just want to say one thing. Mia, my sister, I just told her she needed to do this. So I was, she was one of my first. So I'm like, you need to do this. And she didn't do it right away. She did get a pack right away, but she was a customer with that pack for about a year. And then she jumped in. So blessed about that as well. So good night, everybody. Love you all.